Yeah, kind of, as I just told the team, it definitely wasn't a pretty win, but we'll take it. We needed it. Our players deserved it. Obviously, a lot of things to still get cleaned up from it, but it's always good when you can clean mistakes up with a victory. I'm proud of how our guys fought and stuck together this week. They really worked hard this week, and we continue to challenge them each and every day as coaches. And like I said, I feel like they deserve the win. We always know that we prepare for a four-quarter game, and today it was. Now, it didn't have to be, but it was, and we found a way to make the plays, whether it was on the 4-minute drive with the offense going up 2 scores with the field goal, whether it was the hands team finishing on the field there. Give credit to Tom Allen and Indiana. I know they're banged up, and those guys fought till the end, and that's what the Big Ten's all about. We need to build off this win. Obviously, we've got an opponent coming in next week that we know all too well. It's a great opportunity for us to kind of go back to neutral, refocus, and like I said, welcome Penn State into the shell, and hopefully, we can get our fans out here to help come support next week to try to help us get to number 6. With that, I'll open it up to questions.
Start with Dave Preston to your right.
Mike, could you expand on that clock-killing drive there in the 4th quarter, the 5-minute drive to put you guys up 2 scores? How encouraging is that to see you guys do the little things, and what was the mindset and execution?
Yeah, this was one of those games, and we always try to go in the game with the mindset of running the football. We benefit from the style of offense we run with the RPO stuff, which is why you saw a guy like Carlos Carrier make a lot of plays because of what they did defensively. They kind of basically said we're going to have to throw the ball to win because they were going to outnumber the box, whether they brought the corner from the boundary, the safety from the field. And Leah, after that 2nd quarter, started the 3rd quarter, Leah really settled down and made good post-snap decisions with the football. But as we got into that 4-minute situation when we started right about 6 minutes, one of the things we challenged the offensive line. We took the RPOs off because obviously we didn't want to be forced to throw the ball. And so we put the extra tight end in the game to try to tie down both edges. And you know what? The backs did a good job of getting downhill. We were able to get a couple first downs and then put ourselves in position to go up 2 scores. So, we didn't have necessarily the rushing yardage that you'd like to see and the balance you'd like to see. That's a little bit based off of what Indiana did. But when we needed to run the ball to win, I was really proud of the way the offensive line came through and the backs.
Looking at what Carlos did today, was he a guy who you talked to about or expected to have a bigger role with some of these injuries? And what does it mean just to kind of see a guy who's been a little bit buried on the depth chart have a game like this?
Yeah, can't be more proud than a guy like Carlos Carrier, and he's been around here. I think this is year 5 for him. He's a guy that's kind of always been a role player, and again with injuries, we always talk about next man stepping up, and it was great to see. We made the decision. Obviously, we flipped him and put him in as the starter, and Darryl came off the bench. Some of that's based off of production, and it was great to see Carlos take advantage of the opportunity to be a starter today. Did a great job of executing the things that we did. I mean, based off of what the looks they gave us. So, couldn't be more happy for Carlos having an opportunity to contribute the way he did today and really make the plays necessary. And we needed guys to step up, and he did big time.
To your left wing.
Coach, you had heavy rotation in that defensive line. You talk about what, especially the guys like Tyler and Baylor and a couple of other guys that don't play as much, gave to the Terps today.
Yeah, Tyler's in there. Obviously, he's one of those guys that can play in multiple positions for us. He's been playing defensive end for us. Today we had him playing a little bit of Sam, a little bit of Jack. We're just starting to thin out there with losing, Chami, and then this week losing Deshaun Hope to surgery. We had to move some pieces around. When you play the style of defense that we try to play, we got to rotate a bunch of players in there to keep the big guys fresh. Obviously there's some things we got to still get cleaned up about how we play defense, and we'll get on the tape, try to make those corrections.
Hey Coach, obviously you guys started very fast offensively, then there was kind of a lull there in the 2nd quarter, early into the 3rd quarter. Kind of what changed in that period, and then when you had that drive to sort of break that slump and kind of get your offense back rolling?
Yeah, the goal was to start fast, and one of the things we started the game with offensively was we wanted to play with tempo. And so the first 2 drives you saw us executing you know, our fast tempo, our fast-paced system, because, you know, Indiana's one of those teams that tries to hold their calls on defense until you make a call, and then they get lined up. And so the goal was to start fast, and we did. We were able to get ahead. But then once they saw that was our game plan, they made the adjustment, and they just started bringing pressure from all over the place. Mike plugs, corner cats, fires from the field. And that's when we tagged our RPO stuff and got out of the fast-paced system that we were running. And Leah struggled early in the second quarter a little bit with his decision-making. It took us a while to get in at halftime. Once we got into halftime, we kind of said, hey, here's what they're doing. And we were able to settle him down, at least with his eyes. And then things just started clicking for him. He started making the throws. And guys like Carlos Carrier, Marcus Fleming, you know, Rakim Jarrett all stepped up and really helped us.
Hey, Coach, how did you think the rush defense held up today?
I mean, again, you know, when I get asked that this early, I mean, they ran for over, I think, 200 yards. Still got some work to do there. We still gave up too many explosive plays. We had some guys uncovered. We got to get that fixed. We got to get it fixed fast. So when you look at it, I'd say that we still got work to do in terms of our rush defense and our overall defensive play.
Back out.
Hey, Locks, I know you're obviously focused on the game during the game, but having Coach Fridge here and having that 2001 team here, and especially with Fridge here, what did that mean to you to be able to bring him back in here today on homecoming and be able to win on a day that he's here too?
Yeah, I mean, we talked to our players about that. It's really important that they understand that, you know, the brotherhood that is Maryland football transcends through generations. And I know for me, a guy that grew up rooting for the Terps and a guy that uses a guy like Ralph Friesen as a mentor, I think it's due that he should be given his due while we have the opportunity to do it. You know, to honor him today, to have E.J. Henderson be honored as well, and then the 2001 team that I was a part of, it's great. And it's even better that the 2021 team did its job to allow those guys to enjoy it today as they come back home.
Jacob, in the front row to your right.
Hey, Coach. The team didn't commit a penalty until the final couple minutes of the first half. Can you tell me about the progress they've made in that area?
Still a little bit more work to do there, but again, you know, I don't know if we didn't have a turnover on offense today. We did have a couple of penalties there up front late in the game. I mean, that's what it takes. You know, I still continue to say that if we can win the turnover margin and we can win the explosive battle, play battle, you can always give yourself a chance to win. That's one of the things I learned working under Ralph Friesen. It's good teams don't beat themselves, and you know, if you can control the things that you can control, you'll have an opportunity to win. And today we were able to do that.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, Tayon played Davis and Jolin. They did a good job of kind of establishing the run. So, from your perspective, what do you think they did well? And don't believe we saw Isaiah Jacobs and Penny Boone if there's a status update on them.
Yeah, I mean, Challen and Tayon both did a good job of taking what the defense gave them. When we needed to run the ball there in that 4-minute situation, they both did a really good job of protecting the ball, making some plays down the field, made a couple guys miss. You know, with Penny was a late scratch due to injury, and then, you know, Isaiah's coming back off of the high ankle sprain. We warmed him up. He was dressed. He would have been an emergency player for us, but, you know, those two veteran players, Challen and Fleet, have continued to be really consistent when given opportunities, and we're lucky to have that type of depth at the position.
Take two more to your left, Coach, in the front row.
Hey, Coach, how was the energy in the locker room after getting back in the win column today?
You know, it was a great energy. You know, winning is hard, and I sit here again still frustrated as the head coach because we won, but we didn't win, you know, the way I wanted to see us win, and that's the perfectionist in me to try to ensure that we win the right way. But you know what? Those kids continue to fight. You know, they battled through a 3-game losing streak. We come back home. We fought a desperate team. We played a desperate team like Indiana, who, much like us, is a little banged up. And you know, it was a 4-quarter dogfight. And you know, the thing I liked is that we found a way to get the win, and we didn't go cautiously, and we didn't play cautiously to not lose. And to me, that's one of the things. You know, Coach Friesen talked to the team yesterday. He said, if you want to win, you got to go take it. And I thought today we took the win.
Last one to your right, David.
Coach, the defense today got off 4 for 16 on third down. How encouraging is that moving forward after the month that you guys have had to have a unit that was able to make those plays, especially when I think they had that 1st and 10 from your 13 after the block punt?
Yeah, I mean, our defense did some really good things throughout the course of the game. I think the big thing that continues to jump out is the lack of turnovers. We had a chance to have an interception, the ball squirts through Jacorian's hands. We give up these explosive plays, and to me, those are the types of plays that, when you start, it's 1, 2, or 3 plays in every game that makes the difference. And, we're very fortunate that those plays didn't cost us the game today. But they did do some good things on third down. They kept us in early when we struggled on offense in the second quarter by keeping them out of the end zone, and really did a really good job early. But I'd like to see us finish a little better.